Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Um, Tonight I watched Invicta 49. As you know, the main event was between uh, um, Jessica the Queen DeBoney versus Jilly Bean Lionheart DeCourcy, and the fight was pretty good. It ended in the favor for DeCourcy. She defeated um, uh, um, you know DeBoney by uh, first round submission with a choke, a rear naked choke. And a lot of people thinking that the Boney was gonna come win this fight. Being that she was younger, and she really beat the last champion, um, you know Alicia Half Past Zapatella. But the fight that was is one of the second fights on the roster was between my man Balls Deep. What's up, Balls Deep? This is not be boxing about bodybuilding. Balls Deep is going to be about MMA. And on that fight, the second fight, the second fight of it was it. Her name is Brittany Cloudy. She is called Quiet Storm, and she fights in Invicta. And Brittany, she was putting on, it was her against like her opponent was from Mexico, Montserrat, Rondon, whatever name she is. Good evening to you, Lawrence Perkins. And I just saw Brittany she's posted on her IG, and I truly felt really bad for her. I honestly did. I feel like she was screwed by the judges. And that thing is about MMA, you can never leave it in the hand of the judges. And that's the truth of it. You can never leave a fight in the hand of the judges. But the problem is that in most cases, you have no choice, especially if you don't get a knockout or a submission. You have no choice but leave it in the hand of the judges. And Brittany, she was on, this was her fourth fight in Invicta. I think it was fourth or fifth fight. And she's been on, this is her fourth loss. She was on a 3-fight losing streak. She fought about a month or so ago, a couple months ago. And she lost that fight to her opponent by, I think, split decision. And then there was one fight she fought where he felt she won, but they gave it to the other opponent. And it's crazy. I saw her, she posted, and I really feel bad for her. I honestly do. I honestly do. She was royally screwed by the judges. She was, she used to be a former boxer. She was using her footwork. She was moving around. She was sliding apart. She took her shots. The other opponent threw some shots, and and put her against the cage a few times, but wasn't enough to do anything. And the other girl got one takedown in the last 30 seconds of the fight, of the last round. One takedown. And I don't know how in the hell they count that. It's not enough. When your opponent, you gotta watch the fight. I'm gonna post it in the description. You can skip through the first part. I share a link to my band, the coach. You can cut through the first part. There you go, sorry. And let me get some light here. And you can it's the first fight and get to that second fight between Brittany and Montserrat. And you can see it. Brittany was tagging her, hitting her with combinations. Even some points, even just breaking her concentration. The girl maybe had a couple of good swings every now and then, but Brittany was on her game. And I when she was on IG Live, and I talked to her a little bit. I gave her some little encouragement, and and at one point she really wanted to go to Invicta. And here's gonna be the honest truth to her. And this is where I have to be honest with you, Brittany. You're not gonna go to Invicta. You want to go to Bellator. You want to go to UFC. You're not gonna go to UFC. UFC will not take you, especially if you have that many losses, unless they pick you as a last minute opponent for somebody. That's the only way you get into UFC. You're not gonna go. You already have 4 losses in a row, and you're not on a good record. They will not pick you up. They will pick up a fighter like Ramona Pasquale, who beat Shamir who beat Shamir, who did an interview a while back. They'll pick her up, you know, after just one fight, and it was like even it was barely we call you had to fight like in a catch weight. You're supposed to fight 145, but they fight over 145. They were practically fighting lightweights. Cause I know Brittany told me that because she was trying to get a little bit low, but it was hard for her because Brittany, if you sorry Shamir, if you know Shamir's a thick girl. She's a big thick girl from Tennessee, and it's hard for her to get that. And Anna Pasquale, she also had tried to get down low, but they picked her up and she went to the UFC. So, Brittany, I know you want to go to UFC. One way that's going to happen is if you get picked. If you get picked as a last minute alternative when somebody drops out, and UFC, the truth of it, I know you want to go, but they're not going to pick you up. If you had a better record, they will pick you up. But this is what we talk about with man coach. We talk about this how fighters, how they get royally screwed for whatever reason. The judges. I don't know what the judges saw. I'm not a. I'm not a judge. I'm a fan. Like when I talk about stuff about bodybuilding, I talk about I'm not a judge. I'm a fan. Stuff I see. I was watching that fight. It was a pretty good fight. Brittany was hitting her with more combinations, hitting her. She was moving out of the way from her shots. Other than maybe a couple of like a roundhouse punches and a few times she put it against the cage, the girl wasn't doing enough. So they gave to her because the fact is she's attractive, and because it's a growing market for a particular certain person. She's from Mexico. She speaks English. She's from Mexico. They can she was like 4-0 when she came in, so they didn't want her record to mess up. That means that the UFC is going to look at her because here's one thing about her. She used to work out with Alexa Grasso back in the day, and you got Alexa Grasso over there in the UFC. You also have the other Maserat Luis over there. Also, you have Irene Adania. So that's where I think they want to push more of the. I know it sounds like I'm some kind of conspiracy theorist, but that's what it is. It's like particular ones. If you look like if it's protection of the complexion, you know, she's Mexican, but she doesn't look Mexican. That's the thing is people say, well, Mexico. You gotta think about a country like Mexico was conquered by countries like Spain. Spain is very European. You can go to Spain, and even though they speak Spanish, they're purely white people. They're white Europeans, and there's quite a few. You talk about the Mexicans that come here across the border to America. Most of those are descendants of Native Americans, meaning them a little more dark complected. But a good amount of Mexicans that live in there are much more lighter complected. You know, and that's a big difference. And it's harder for black women, especially in this sport and mixed martial arts, to get recognition. It's a lot harder for the sisters. But I saw her on IG, and I just really feel bad for her. I felt like I'm an uncle. I'm an uncle and a great uncle. I have, three older nieces. I have a bunch of great nieces, and if when I see that, I feel like I want to be like my uncle and me come down. I want to give you hugs, say, baby doll, it's gonna be all right. Just one of these things that happen. But you be all right, you be fine. And that's truly what I could do for Brittany. Where I sent her my link to my channel. I know she did an interview with my boy Combo Breaker 99. Combo, he's gonna talk about this later on his channel because I know he knows Brittany. He does an interview with Brittany. He's a big fan of Brittany. I know he's gonna talk about it. I sent something to my man, the coach. He said he wasn't watching it. Maybe he might catch it later. I sent him the link. I know WMA Ag might talk about it. I might do a video about it later on. I got some stuff I got to do tomorrow. Maybe later on this week, rest of the week. I mean, we all know also where I live in North Carolina, we have Hurricane Ian coming up, and it hits Florida. I got some ladies out there who are bodybuilders who I've become friends with, Amanda Schnooks, um, yeah, Yetta Abdul, also Nancy Lewis. Nancy Lewis, if you are a fan of bodybuilders, Nancy Lewis, just a couple months back, I just found out she sent me an email. Nancy had a bad fall. She tear her ACL and also some other injuries. She's supposed to be collecting surgery. So, she's not too much on social media. She doesn't have Facebook. So I will leave later on. I'll probably leave her Facebook. So you want to reach out to Nancy and send her best wishes and for recovery. We were talking across the IG. I got her phone number. But I tried to call a couple of times, but she didn't answer. But I'm gonna see if I can call later on this weekend and see how she's doing, because she lives in Florida too. And, she does a lot of charity work for her farm. I think you talked to Janine Kowski, and she's the one who told me that it was about a couple of months ago when that fall happened. It was like July the 30th. I said, dang, what she, I mean, it's just bad. Yeah, just check with them to have a family in 4 days safe now. Oh, Lawrence, yeah, that's okay, that's good. Yeah, man, I hope the family be all right. I mean, yeah, you got to be careful. This hurricane. It's like I said, it's this time of year, hurricanes. Oops, excuse me. Hurricanes hit really bad. Especially because when that water from up north hits that water down here in the ocean, because it's the collision of hot and cold water, and then boom, that's a sign when everything's changed. We'll probably have a couple more. I know people in Florida. My heart goes out to you. I might do this. I might try to check up. Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah, they need our players, and I might, you know, send a package to Amanda Schnooks. See if I'll see if she. I might, try contacting her on Facebook. Because in IG, see, if you need anything else, try to see a little package down the line, little stuff, something that you might need. And same thing with Yetta. Also, Jeannie Likowski's in Florida. Nancy Lewis in Florida. There's quite a few lady bodybuilders who I've become acquainted with. Carrie Hall and her husband Stephen, they're in Florida. I might see and say, I hope everything all right with them. But we're like I said, this situation with Whitney Cloudy, she's gonna protest, and she should protest, because we talked about this on CS Combat Sports. How remember years ago, if you follow MMA, one of my favorite fighters, Marion Renault, the Belize Bruiser, she had a fight where she fought against Ashley, Rebel Girl, what's the face, the thief. She had a fight against her, and that fight she won that fight, but I don't know, the judges gave it to um, Ashley, what's the face, and Ashley Evans Smith. I don't know how the hell. I mean, I've seen that fight before. And I looked at Martin was just beating her pillar to post, but somehow she won that fight. I don't know how. How in the hell? It just don't make no sense to me. It's crazy. That's why I come on live, because it really was. I mean, I usually about to try to go to sleep, but this situation hyped me up. And then seeing Brittany on and talking about her situation, she was really sad. She was crying, and it was just unfair. But don't want to put the down on too much you know just too much on her. This was her a fight where she felt like she had opportunity. I mean, she deserved to win this fight. She deserved to win the fight. Her opponent didn't do enough. She honestly didn't do enough. She had a couple of good strikes in there. You know, yeah, pressure. Yeah, it's pressure. But you have a couple of good strikes in there, but not enough to do really any real damage. You can barely see, other than maybe a little bit of bruising. The other girl was bleeding, busting the face. She already had black eyes. If anything, usually they go by, damage. If they see some serious damage, then that's when you go to the opponent that deserves to win. So the girl gets one takedown out of the whole fight. And most of the time, she's pushed. Brittany gets the cage, and Brittany pushed her off of her, and it gets hit her with more lefts, rights, uppercuts. I mean, she moved side to side. She used her boxing. She had good footwork compared to the other girl who just moving forward. And I think this is rewarded because the girl was slightly prettier. I mean, at one point, when you know how they come in and they check you out, you know, before you get into the cage, the other chick, the guy turned her around. You know, you really ever rarely ever turn a opponent around. Usually, looking for face to face, you pat them down, and then you say everything can go in. But you rarely ever turn them around. Why turn around? I've seen the girl from the back. She had a nice, I ain't gonna lie, she had a nice butt, but still, she deserved to win. It's like the situation with what happened with you know what? Wouldn't she reach out to Tanisha Tennant, and what happened to her about a couple years ago when she fought Danielle Wolf at the Dana White's Contender Series, and how she beat Danielle Wolf, but Danielle Wolf supposedly won, and they gave her the contract to the UFC. And look what happened. She gets her tail beaten up by Norma Demond. It's just, but it happens. It happens in the world of mixed martial arts where judges sometimes you tell us you can't leave it in the hands of the judges, but it's harder for women. Women don't get off into many knockouts. They have to really use their performance, have to use their skill, have to use volume punches. You might see, every once in a while you might see a knockout, but it's just almost next to rare in most cases. Like Julie Corsi, who just fought for the title, she knocked out her opponent, got a title shot. Then she submits Jessica DeBoni. And Jessica said she wants a rematch. Jessica, I don't think you're gonna get a rematch. You might, because you got to, you won the tournament last year. We get shot again at the title with Alicia Zapatella. They might, because I think they like Alicia Zapatella a little more. But here's the thing happened to Jessica. She got married, and my man, the coach, talks about it. That's the thing is, you should wait to when you just become a champion. You should wait to get married. Wait, hold that off stuff. It's one thing with men when they do it. With men, but women, I think a man would take up a lot of your time. You know, but she wants a rematch. I don't know. They may not give it to her. you know. And then with her, since the UFC doesn't have the 105 division, she can only sit at either Invicta or go over to one championship all the way in Singapore. That's the only two choices that Jessica DeBoer has: either stay Invicta or go see one championship will offer you a job. And that's all the way in Singapore, and I doubt she'll probably go that far. But she might get a rematch. Of course, they might either, or they might give this shot to Alicia Zapatella because she can do too good in her story. I think Alicia Zapatella is not a pure strawweight. She's still, even though she's a thick girl, Alicia Zapatella, she's still a bit, I would say, undersized for 115. But the back to Brittany. Brittany, um, I want to truly. This is what I would say to you. I'm gonna say this video to you later. I want to say to you, I would love to have you come onto my channel. We want to talk, share your stories, share your thoughts. I know she said she has to go back to work on Friday. I know it's tough. You just have to turn around and go back to your real job. This thing with mixed martial arts, especially coming back in Victor, you should really we shouldn't have to work, have need a real job. But these women in like organizations like Invicta and LFA, the small organizations, and even if organizations UFC, you still have to, you don't get paid enough. You know, I wish somebody with bigger pockets can, maybe help a company like Invicta, bring in some money to them because they can really use it. They got all the sponsors to get, but they can really use some money. They used to have that connection with the UFC, but they left the UFC about 2 years ago and went out on their own. And they got lucky enough to have somebody come sponsor. Like I think it was the company that's run by Mark Cuban and also I think also Steve Harvey. I talked about it before, but like I said, I just came out here for a bit, just give my heartfelt condolences, not condolences, the condolences for what somebody did. My heartfelt um, sorries to Brittany QuietlStorm Cloudy. I mean, you were robbed. I've seen some robberies, and you are a victim of robbery. This was a strong arm robbery. Those judges, I don't know what they were looking at. This is why we talk about this on CS Comment Sports. That there need to be more judges who are not just boxing judges. We need former fighters, referees, coaches, you know, guys who are in the MMA game. Not these. A lot of these judges are mostly boxing coaches. And even as the boxing coaches, they should have gave the fight to Brittany. She was throwing more hands. She was throwing. If you do the number count of how many hits she had, I mean, if this happened with uh, uh, you know, Denise Dynamite kill host, Miss Dynamite. She was throwing more punches and landing against Juliana Velasquez. The only reason why that they would get to because she had a little more damage, but she was hitting, throwing more punches, had more volume than Velasquez. But Velasquez gets walked through. But they gave the title to Velasquez because the fact was, or she, you can see that, she was throwing harder punches and put more damage on Denise Kill's face. But the other girl, you look at her face, she had a black eye, her nose was busted, she was bleeding. She had more damage than Brittany. I mean, and they just used one takedown. One takedown. If I was saying like this, I would say the girl had maybe the first round, Brittany got the second round, but I think Brittany really got it back in the third. But because of that takedown, I think that's why they want to count it. But it's just, but I just digress. I feel really, like I said, I feel really bad for her, and I hope to get, hope she sees my message later when she gets a chance to rest and to eat and to relax. I would love to have her back on. I would love to have no, sorry, I would love to have her on my channel. It's been a while since I had a talk conversation with a lady in mixed martial arts. I think it's been, I think my last one since was Shamir. That's been a while. And like I said, my channel is, my channel is dedicated a good part to women's bodybuilding, but also I become a fan of women and mixed martial arts. I'm right now, I'm talking with a lady who is a former boxer. I hope she has time for me. A couple of ladies I love to talk to. It's about who these judges like, and it don't make no sense. That's true, Lawrence. It doesn't make no sense about how the judges should go by the quality of the work or what the fighter has done, not by who looks the prettiest. I just saw this was crazy. I saw this. There's posters. I become very friendly with one Miss Sarah Too Sweet Allpar. She sent me a video link from, it was, I think, it was from the Invicta page, where it shows Helen Peralta wearing, like, with tape on her chest. And if you know Helen Peralta, she has no chest. She yeah, I think I have more boobs than her, and she's wearing tape on her. She was at the weigh-ins. You have your fish. You have the ceremonial weigh-ins where the fighters face off each other, and they already know you already know the weight of the fighter. You just stand on the thing, and they just give the weight they already have. And she's wearing tape, look like white tape with something written on it, on her chest, covering her nipples, and that's wild. I mean, and she lost tonight, and and she really, I saw her. She was also talking with Brittany, and they talked a little bit, and she really supported Brittany, and she lost. And, Helen Peralta was on Tough 30. I thought she was supposed to be in the UFC. Cause usually you do the Tough. They usually sign you to the UFC, but I don't know. It's been a mess. That's the year where we have that episode was supposed to be between you had Pena versus Nunez, and that was before their fight, and that should have been, instead of 125, that should have been 105. Why? Because you got enough, you can recruit a lot more 125ers, and 105 needs to be open. And the thing is, now that Jessica Boney lost a title, what else is she to do? What she has to do is like a rematch with probably the Corsi, or fight somebody else, because she's not gonna get picked up unless she goes up to 115. Also Jessica DeBone is friends with Jessica Andrade, so and I know Jessica Andrade feels bad for a friend, but I truthfully, like I said again, I feel bad, really bad for Brittany Cloudy. I think, like I said, she was a victim of strong arm robbery, and I hope this doesn't discourage her. I honestly hope, because I can feel her pain. I have empathy when I see she was on. She was really crying. She was talking about her hair and everything else, and I really feel her pain. I really feel bad for her because she worked hard. She lost one fight a couple of months ago. She hadn't fight for a good while. Then she comes back and loses this fight, and turn around and lose this fight, and and it's just, what can this girl do to win? It's I mean, she has to knock somebody out. That's the only. I think that's the only way she's guaranteed to win. If she knocks somebody cold out, if she puts on a good performance, has more volume, moving better, if that other person gets one takedown out the whole fight, then all of a sudden I mean, it's just. I've seen this in too many fights. I'm like I said, I've been watching quite a bit of this MMA for a good while now, and I've seen some fights where I wish, that fighter should have won. And I've seen fights where I say I know that fighter won, because you see, then I see the fight say that person, I was certain they won, but then somehow the judges say, nah, you didn't win. And this is truly, there's some fights been close calls, let's even want to call it a robbery, but it's just a close call. It just could have gone either way. Like, but this fight here, this was not a close call. Brittany Cloudy was throwing more punches. She was being more evasive. She had better shots. She had using angles. She was really, she's really putting on Mazerat. And I don't know how these judges saw to get this fight to Mazerat where she was losing. At one point, she was just struggling. You can even tell when she said she won, she was surprised because I think back here, she felt she won. She was, you know, and just like I said, but like I said, I won't be on too long. I mean, I'm about to head out. I'm, I'm just, I just had to come on just to to give my feelings. It's been a while since I did a live outside of like when I went to Savannah, and that's been almost it's gonna be 3 weeks, almost 3 weeks in Savannah, and I enjoyed myself. I hope to do. I got my niece who lives in Atlanta who picked me up. Said I could, if I could think about it, next time I can say we're in Atlanta. And they have the Linda Murray in Atlanta now. That would save me money on a motel room. I stay with her, a couple of days, and go to the show. Maybe, get to meet some more ladies because, a great opportunity. I got to start saving now because, Uber wasn't too expensive. That's the one thing, was it? Uber wasn't too expensive. I think, depending on which kind of Uber you're going to drive, you can drive a big old truck, you can buy a smaller car or whatever else, you know, but Uber wasn't too expensive. But like I said, I'm going to save some money. I'll say I start saving back again. And then see when they have the Linda Murray in Atlanta, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna, like I said, catch a train like I did the last time. I don't want to do a bus. Those buses can be crowded, and I will get up early enough. I got up at least around 6. I thought I had enough time. I should have, really. I enjoyed myself. I was tired. I should have really, really, really got a lot more early. I would have catch that train. Things happen. But like I said, just gonna be a little bit more on my game. But said again, I'm gonna say this: Brittany Cloudy was a victim of robbery. It was a strong armed robbery. It was one of those robberies that they just bust in the door and told you give us all your shit kind of robbery. And I hope she gets my message. I'd love to have her on my channel. She can tell her story, share her path. I want to be somebody who want to say, you know what, you did a good job. You put up a good fight, and everybody, who doesn't, everybody who watched that fight know you won. The other person, she didn't win. They gave her a fight. They gave it to her. She didn't win. She didn't do enough to win. But you know what? We're gonna believe that. We go with the narrative where they go with the person that looks like that's the person that's more marketable, marketable. The ones they can put on a poster or something like that. Not the girl who really came in and put out her heart out and put up a better performance. Well, like I said, but before I go out, like I said, I want to say again, wish the best to all the ladies who I know who are in sport bodybuilding in Florida. Amanda Schnooks, Yetta May Hensel, Kira Hall, Janine Lakowski, Nancy Lewis. Also, we don't really talk too much anymore because of the situation. One Miss Tracy Rugged, who's lives down there in Florida. I mean, all the ladies who are professional bodybuilders, amateur bodybuilders, who are uh, from the orange, not the orange state, it's the orange state, yes, the orange state. Called it, I think, yeah, Florida is the orange state, I believe. What's California? California was something or other. Yeah, California. But but I wish y'all ladies safety. Be all right. I know this is gonna be it's gonna be tough. When these hurricane hit Florida, really hard because you're so close out there in the ocean. You're out there in the foot of the ocean. Also, we got to be careful in my home state because that tornado's gonna come here after a while, and maybe we don't have it too bad. I went and got some water and some other stuff just in case. Just to be sure. A little bit of bread is, when you hear about hurricane, bread goes fast. Bread and water. It goes fast. But I'm going to send a message later to Amanda, because she more time talking more on Facebook. Send one to Yetta May, also to Kira and Steven, and see if I can send one to Janine, see how she's doing. I hope she's doing all right. But like I said, Brittany Cloudy, if you see my message, please come on. Tell us your story. Share your opinion. We want you, like I said, it's good. I know you are mad, you're frustrated, you're sad, and it's good to vent. It's good to let that out. Sometimes it's not good to hold that in. Sometimes it's not good to be that person say, you know what, I'm going to be stoic and like, no, no, no. It's good to say, F, and just tell the judges to ride on a boo stick, or with some Vaseline, without Vaseline, like that. But also, folks, if you see on my social media, we just lost a rap legend that is Coolio tonight. Coolio, I listened to his music, Gangsta Paradise, Fantastic Voyage. Back in the day, he was, he put Snoop Dogg on. He was also on the series The Apprentice. He did some other stuff, some reality shows. He was a great rapper, great talent. Everybody loved his hair. He was an actor. Also, remember, he was also did the soundtrack for the King Kale TV series back in the day. He was a great man, a great actor. I wish condolences to his family. I know he has several kids. I think one point he was in a relationship. I remember, I think him and his girlfriend did that show Wife Swap some years ago, I believe. So one of those shows. But you know, rest in peace to Coolio. It's sad that we lost another legend in the hip hop community and the rap music community. Just been a year or so since we lost. Yeah, rest in heaven, legendary Coolio. Yeah. Rest in peace to the brother Coolio. And folks, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Just this is like I said. I was really mad when I saw when they gave that other girl the win, and my brother heard me saying, what's going on?" I said, "No, no, I'm just watching this fight, and this girl got screwed. She got screwed. She got they screwed her, but they didn't kiss her. You know what that means? That's what you do with a prostitute. You screw a prostitute, you don't kiss her, and that's how they treat her. Treat her like who was it? It was that old was a rapper song. It was like treat her like a prostitute. Who was it? Who was it? Try to remember. It wasn't LL Cool J. It was either NWA something. I mean, guys like hey, I know Balls Deep. You're about my age. You remember somebody sung that song where it said treat a girl like a prostitute. I forget who it was, but it just don't make no sense how this girl was screwed. And I know she feels bad. I know she's frustrated. She might want to quit fighting. And I know, like I said again, she wants to go to the UFC. But once again, Brittany, I'm going to be honest with you. You're not going to, unless you get called in as a last minute replacement for a fight, the UFC's not going to pick you. They're going to pick somebody who they know is marketable. They're going to pick somebody who is with the right complexion, who fits the ideology. And it's harder for sisters out there in the MMA to get recognition, like people like Mario Renault, and also mm, uh, can't forget Angela Hill. She gets by because remember a while back Angela Hill was fighting um, Michelle Waterson. She said she's gonna be the first black woman in history to headline a UFC event, and then people say, oh, but then when Michelle Waterson says, oh, I'm gonna be the first Asian woman, or no, not the first Asian woman. She said the first mom or something like that. Then they all say, "Well, that's cool, Michelle." It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And in the MMA community, there is a high amount of racism. People don't want it is because it was supposed to be something outside of boxing, white people, and now that more black people coming into it and even kind of dominating it. It's just but you know it's not much you can say about the situation. It's not much you can say. You can only hope that she just encourage her to do more, get a little harder. Also, to fight harder, or maybe move to something else. But like I said again, I think you should maybe open your options to maybe organizations like Capacite American, which is a Spanish fight organization. I just saw that Danielle Taylor's gonna be fighting there a while back. My dear friend Miss Chantel Coates fought a couple of times. She lost one and she won one. Her opponent, she fought the chick Loba. She won her last fight. And that's a chick they probably would love to have in the UFC, but she won't fight enough. She's not too active. It was the last time she fought was a year ago since against um you know oh, it sucks. Yeah, Mosine Auto. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. You know how some of these women get cheated out of out of a win. She got cheated out of a win. It does sucks. But like I said, next week I must talk Mondays. We're like I said, we really don't have much to talk about. I just saw my dear friend Tina's when she posted the list for the Rising Phoenix, and it looks like Stephanie Fletcher's not going to compete in the show, and also the lady who won the Miss International is not competing because the list has been rechanged. They added Dawn Salee because she wasn't on the last time, and I think it's 14 ladies this year. What it should do, like now today's is Thursday now because it's 12. But as you know, yesterday was Miss Michelle Britt's birthday. They should invite Michelle Britt. I got to see Michelle Britt live in her last competition in Savannah. She should get a special invitation for the Savannah, for the Rising Phoenix, since this was her last year competing. She should get a special invitation for all the years she put into the sport and all she done in the sport. She should get a special invitation to the Rising Phoenix. I know it's not going to get her Olympic qualification or anything like that, but just because she deserves it, because what she has, committed to herself to the sport, over 30 years, and she should be at the Rising Phoenix, being this is her last competition. So, because Stephanie Fletcher dropped out for whatever reason, from what stories I heard, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just hearing some things, scuttlebutt, and some people that are, who are close to me, who's telling me these stuff. She dropped out for not just because of foot injury, but for a particular reason why she dropped out. I'm not gonna go in details about that. I don't tell when some of my little birdies tell me stuff and tell me to keep it to me, to keep it to my chest. I'll keep it to my chest. I respect that. But if anything else somebody tells me, and if it's it's not confidential, I will let y'all know. But as again, I must say, all best wishes in the future to Brittany QuietlStorm Cloudy. I hope you do. I honestly hope you do get a chance to go to the UFC. Maybe like I said, if somebody drops out of a fight and they need a last minute opponent, you get your call. But I want you to really be considerate about maybe, you know, going to another organization like maybe Bellator. That's where Karina Rodriguez with, because they can pick her up, and she was champion for like at least 2 years in the UFC. And even it's just that they pick certain ones they feel like they can be marketable. And with Karina's like over 30. But funny, they can pick somebody like Daniel Wolf, who's a little bit older than her, but we all know it's about protection of the complexion. So, like I said, I'd like to thank my man Moments Perkins, my man Balls Deep, Mods Audio, you YouTube brother. I'd like to thank you for coming through. Let's give our well wishes and our blessings to our brothers and sisters in Florida and also around the world. And like I said, just the best of luck to anything else. And reach me on the George Page, aka the Emperor of WMA Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I'm out.